Hi guys, as usually it's me, just a voiceover. You're watching Review Machines and meet the newest tracked ATV Caiman. It's one of the cheapest zero-produced ATV, and today we are going to test the machine in the most serious way. Today we found a very interesting and tough route. Then we will be accompanied by these little machines. They are tracked so-called motor dogs, equipped with summer kit. Moreover, there also will be some quads, to make it even more interesting. The more ATVs are in the video, the more fun we will have. Well, we are going to have a long adventure today, so it's high time to hit the road. Let's go! As I've said, today we've prepared a special, very tough route, with all the conditions and obstacles to test our machine in the various ways. We start with the simple striding on this plain field, but then we will go to the dark and gloomy forest, with the most dangerous swamps. Meantime, we have the first obstacle. It's a flooded ravine. As I know, it's a favorite habitat for caimans. So let's try it here. Wow, it turns out quite deep here. But you may have guessed already that our ATV is a real amphibian, so a deep ravine it's not a problem at all. We see the machine easily getting it over. Now I think it's time to have a little rest and look at some specs of the machine. So Caiman, it's one of the cheapest produced on the line tracked ATV ever. We'll speak about the price a bit later. The design and construction of the vehicle are quite simple. Consequently, it seems to be a reliable machine. The engine is found in two variants, 17 HP and 2 cylinders 24 HP, as we have here. The transmission contains a CVT and the gearbox. There is a front driving axle from a car. And briefly about the small ATVs. In fact, it's so-called motor dog with a double track and front attachable wheels. There is 17 HP engine. And the light version of the previous motor dog. There is a single track and 15 HP engine. We'll find out if these small machines are capable on offroading. Well, it's time to move on. There are 4 seats in the ATV, but in our case, the most time there were 6 people sitting in the ATV. The machine is powerful enough to carry even 6 people without some efforts, so the 24 HP engine is quite effective. To my mind, there is no much sense in 17 HP version, cause the difference in price is about $400. More powerful engine is worth of it. Meantime, we are reaching the huge wood slash with deep puddles. Of course, it's a gloomy place, but interesting in terms of tough obstacles for our machines. Well, in fact, Caiman doesn't see here something interesting. Let's look at the other little ones. The light ATV decides to go another way, right through the slash, over the stumps. But it seems not very good idea. Double track goes right through the puddle, and overcomes it like a snap. Let's move on. Now we find ourselves on a forest road, well, if we can call this place a road. While we are moving here, I would like to speak in a word about the design of the Caiman. The engineers based their solutions on the huge experience of making similar hammer-made machines. They simply took the best ones and implement them in Caiman. In fact, many of us are able to build such machines ourselves. The construction is really the simplest. On the other hand, there is every reason to believe that zero-produced machine is more reliable than hammer-made one. And besides, I think it's not more expensive or maybe even cheaper. Well, it's cheap as a matter of fact. But our task today is to find out if it's really reliable and effective. By the way, in order to make this ATV reliable, the engineers decided to get rid of any chain drive in the construction, cause there are many opinions that any chain drive is a weak point. There is only drive shaft here from the gearbox to the front axle, so the transmission must be heavy duty. Meantime, we are moving in the forest, and our route becomes harder and harder. But Cayman is moving in such conditions still without any difficulties. But more surprisingly, our little machines are still keeping up with it. The motodogs are considered mostly as winter machines, but as we can see now, they are quite capable in summer off-roading if we equip them with special season kit. Besides, they are very affordable. The next stage is a bank of a small river, though we don't need to cross it, but let's try to test our ATV on water again. Well, at least it's clear now. It can easily float, but the speed of moving on water is not very impressive. By the way, the engineers are going to equip this model with a screw propeller to provide decent speed on water. That would be interesting, I should say. To proceed our journey, we have to cut our way right through the thick bushes in the floodland of the river, cause there is no other way. And Cayman, like a real beast, makes his way in the wild jungles. Now it's time to have a short rest again and look at some more details. The tracks are made of a conveyor belt and numerous metal parts bolted together. Such tracks don't come off and provides perfect traction due to the metal hooks. The width of the track is 365 mm. There is a winch at the front of the body. Under the hood there is an access to the winch and battery. Then there is good access to the engine from all the sides. The handling is very simple, by 2 levers and throttle, nothing more. There are many awesome boxes where you can put a lot of useful cargo. Also we see here an anti-roll cage and a tent, that is an additional option. The tent is quickly dismantleable and simple to use, and there are handles as in the real off-roader. The next trial, this time it's a forest abatis. Let's cut our way through them. In such conditions, the windscreen is a very useful feature to keep the noise from the driver. By the way, the anti-roll cage is an additional option, but I think it should be in a standard set, cause it's quite dangerous to get over serious off-roading without it. The price of the cage and the tent is about $500. Meantime, our little ATVs are facing quite serious problems, cause our route becomes quite tough for them. This time it's even hard for the motordog to escape from this dirt itself, so let Cayman help us. The tracked ATV pulls out a motordog without a hitch, so we can proceed our trip. Let's move on. While we are moving on, I would like to mention that for now I noticed only one drawback in Cayman. As we can see, it's quite effective in area off-roading, but quite rough for the passengers at the same time. The matter is, it doesn't have any suspension. But if you need a real off-roader and the comfort is not important, Cayman is a good choice. We are moving closer and closer to the Great Swamp, and up to now we haven't had any obstacles that could stop our ATV, so we are moving on sitting in this rough but very effective all-terrain vehicle. Here we reached the place where our motodogs stopped and couldn't proceed their way. But I think they showed a very good result in dirt, taking into account that they are mostly winter machines. They are light, very simple and affordable. Perfect machines for winter and not bad for summer season. For example, double-tracked vehicle costs about $2,300 and single-tracked $1,600. I think it's a good price for all-season machine, but now let's keep on going without them. Finally we reached the destination of our off-roading route. We see now a real great swamp. Let's try the Cayman here. The swamp is covered with so-called carpet. It's a layer with grass and roots, and our ATV can scramble here quite successfully, due to the effective tracks of course. Frankly speaking, it was rather frightening to go there, cause if we had got stuck there, nobody could have helped us. Anyway, I think Cayman shows a good result in this swamp. It proves to be a real all-terrain vehicle, and it's high time now to speak about the price. And the model you've seen today costs only about $4,000. Quite affordable price for such a machine, isn't it? Let's remember how much is the any all-wheel drive quad, for example. So I think it has some drawbacks of course, but it's worth its money. In this way, Cayman passed all the tests we had prepared for it and proved to be affordable and effective ATV. Guys, what do you think about this off-roader? Is it worth its money? Or maybe it should be more reasonable to buy a used quad? Please post your opinions in the comments. Let's call it a day. Thanks for watching guys, please consider subscribing the channel if you like this video. Stay with us, it will be many more interesting material here. Goodbye.